What if I told you that it's possible to build a highly successful YouTube channel earning $80,000 a year just from ad revenue and not editing any of your videos? I'm excited to talk with Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time. He's a real estate investor, best-selling author, but as a YouTube creator, he has really built one of the most unique models that I've ever seen on YouTube that I know that you'll be able to learn from for your own content, especially if you're looking for different ways of creating content easily, quickly, and simply. And so, Michael, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity.
And so you've uploaded 10,000 videos.
Yes.
It's a really shocking number, and it's cool to be having you on the Think Media podcast at this moment because that's a significant milestone. You recently hit it.
Yes.
YouTube just rounds it at this point. So, I mean,
I got a note, I think it was 6 weeks ago, it might've been 7 weeks ago, that my 10,000th video was loaded.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And so what is the system? Because for someone listening, they heard the headline of the opening, no editing, but what is basically now your system and workflow for publishing content?
Yeah, so it's really easy. So I hit the go live button. They're all live unless I'm traveling in the world and internet is bad. I go live at 7:30 a.m. on the dot. Worst case, I'm a minute late, which very rarely happens, but it's that scheduled. So you can count on me being live at 7:30 Pacific, Sunday through Thursday. It goes for 12 to 18 minutes based on the topics, and I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it.
And to be even a little bit more detailed,
Sure.
Now you have like a little studio and a whiteboard.
Correct.
And you've got a couple things going on. So it's turned into a show.
Absolutely. And again, right, this is the evolution, right? In the beginning, it was me just talking to my phone, then it was my computer, and then thanks to Think Media and what you've shared, I got a camera that you recommended, so thank you, it's amazing. But I took ad revenue and invested back in the business, right? I had the money to go buy the toys, but that wasn't it. It wasn't about the toys. It was about getting better at my craft, and it just takes repetition. So now it went from my kid's bedroom to a studio that's about a mile down the road, and it actually has 3 different rooms in it, right? I carved it up. So my daily financial news is in the middle. It's all soundproof. There's a whiteboard and it's 5 topics. And again, that's because of you, right? I used to come in, I used to say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's just, I would waste time, the hook, right? To use your language. So again, you always have to be finding other mentors and help getting better at your craft. Now it's 5 things. Occasionally there's a 6th thing that's kind of some random thing, but it's pretty much the same format every day.
So the pillar then, and you mentioned that's kind of your personal brand. It's your show.
That's my
You've
show,
decided it to be 7 days a week. What is the importance, in your opinion, that you've experienced in terms of just the compound effect of being consistent and making a promise and actually showing up and fulfilling on your word?
Well, it's so rare today. Right? There's a lot of people going after different messages, but they're not consistent. And also one of the things that you'll see on my channel, why I have 10,000 videos, because I don't delete anything, right? And I make a lot of calls, and some of them are wonderful and some of them are horrible. So I like it that people can hold me accountable and go back and watch them. I just did a whole run of, revisiting some of the earlier videos that don't have a lot of views. So people can go back and watch, and I have receipts. So yeah, that's a lot of fun.
That's cool. Okay. So that's 7 days a week right there. That's 7 uploads in a 7-day period. So then what's the other part of how you reach 10,000 uploads?
So I think the key, or at least it's my opinion, what makes One Rental at a Time unique is it's not Mike Zuber. Other than the daily financial news, which I feel is my baby, maybe now it's my child, it's past the baby phase. I have 8 to 10 different returning guests a week. And we spend 50 to 60 minutes and we take 3 topics, and then those get scheduled out over the rest of the time. So again, One Rental at a Time is a collection of millionaires who got there with real estate. And that's very unique. It's not Mike Zuber, right?
Yeah. So people can visualize this, and I've been a guest a few times. The reason it's no editing is you bring a guest on Zoom and you figure out the 3 topics right within the first 60 seconds.
Yeah, it's a minute or 2.
So you're like, what do you think about this? And so this is me on the show. You're like, I was thinking we talk about this. And then you're like, thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. And even for me, I start like jotting like a note or 2, or maybe a framework I have off to the side. I was thinking about we'd hit this, and maybe we'll hit this if we have the time.
Exactly.
And then you're like, here we go. And you press record on Zoom.
I do.
Which, from my perspective, with no critique whatsoever, but even that, I would much rather use StreamYard, for example. I'm not suggesting you change. I'm inspired that you even don't, because simply from the fact of it just proves, I mean, again, 80K a month growing, multiple 6 figures from other income streams. We'll touch on that. But you've got the book, you've got all the other stuff. But like creativity works best in constraints. Like simplicity is power. So it's literally just Zoom, which I'm trying to suffocate the excuses of everybody listening to this because everybody's used Zoom. 100% of people. Not everyone's used other things, but because we all went through the pandemic, 100% of people have been on Zoom.
To me, Zoom is amazing, and I don't know StreamYard. I've never used it.
Exactly. So I'm not actually suggesting you change. I'm just saying that, like, from my vantage point, I'm personally offended, actually, that you, but also excited on the side because it just proves that really it's not the production value. No. And especially in this niche, which is educational, it really is the content value. People are not critiquing that. They're there for the conversations, the topics you bring out, the millionaire guests. So you get the guest on Zoom, you literally just press record, have the conversation and turn it off.
Correct.
That is the upload.
This is the whole process. We get on for 60 seconds, 3 topics.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. They're 12 to 15 minutes. Yeah, I hit start, stop each time. So there's 3 different files.
Yes.
And then those download on my computer, and then I upload them
to YouTube.
Yep.
And then they can be schedule uploaded.
And I schedule upload, yes.
You do the titles.
Correct.
And
vidIQ helps me, makes suggestions.
Oh yeah, vidIQ AI title generator.
Correct.
Yeah, pretty at least get you.
Again, it's very easy for me, right? I put in what I think, and then it cleans it up. I use it 90% of the time. Sometimes it just doesn't feel right.
And now in the last year, and I think we talked about this, how much did you generate in ad revenue?
Over $80,000 just from AdSense.
How many subscribers right now?
Almost 50,000, I think 47,000, I think.
So what I'm hoping that comes across here is, again, you figured out, first you retired, got bored really quick.
Yes.
Wanted to make an impact, wanted to make a difference. Thing one, which is so resonates with our ethos at Think Media. And you need money for the mission. So we're not apologetic about pursuing the revenue, but people that listen to this want to make a difference. They want to make an impact to people. You're doing that. You're getting all these messages, but it's also your model is different and it's sustainable. It's definitely not the only way. Other content niches, I would argue, demand editing.
Probably.
This one doesn't because it's so heavy education.
Correct.
You've built it over years. You have a sustainable system, a nice rhythm. And then you also you do all the back end.
Yep.
You wrote the book.
Yes.
You built out the course. You can do all the things over time. And I hope that that's an encouragement to the listeners. I'm curious, for someone saying, well, easy for you to say you built all these connections. What is your advice for actually building, if someone's like, man, I want to start tapping into a strong network of people to have guests on the show and all of how you've done that?
Of all my guests, I only knew one of them previous starting. Yes. You just reach out to people cold.
Okay.
Right? I reached out to you cold.
Yes.
Right? And said, hey, can we try this once? I really think one rental at a time and what I call the millionaires could work in any area. Find, if you like classic cars, find other classic cars folks and just talk and riff. People love to hear competing views and we don't always agree.
Totally.
Right? And that's okay. We respect each other. We'll listen. And we'll also call each other out when we're wrong. There's just something in that of having 2 knowledgeable people who are go-givers riffing on a topic. It doesn't have to be confrontational. It doesn't have to be sensationalized. People really, really appreciate that, I think.
This episode is brought to you by StreamYard. StreamYard is our go-to platform here at Think Media for live streaming to Facebook and YouTube and for recording our video podcast. It has an incredibly easy-to-use interface for built-in branding, transitions, text lower thirds, and seamlessly bringing on guests. And they just added an awesome new feature called local recording. This allows you to take the quality to another level by separating out your audio and video from your guests, giving you more control over your content for later use. This feature is perfect for video and podcast creators. And so to get a special deal on StreamYard right now and to see all the features that are included, just go to streamwiththink.com. That is streamwiththink.com. Looking at starting this.
Yeah.
What are people going to think? What do I have unique to say to the conversation? Is it too late to start? Should I start a YouTube show or a video podcast or something like that? What advice would you have?
I would tell someone going back at 45, I probably should have started it earlier, but it's absolutely worth it. I actually think what you were going to see, and I can see it because I'm in it every day, already transitioning. I think you can grow fast on YouTube being negative and clickbaity and all of that. I think that's going to have its time as AI sort of works its way to weed out that. People really are drawn to value and impact. So again, if you're 45 years old and you have a hobby or a passion that you spent time with, there is a show there. And oh, by the way, if it happens to be something you already love, it won't feel like work. I spend 3 hours a day on this and I'm excited for all of it.
Yeah.
It is just so much fun. So I would tell you to just press play and go. And I would tell you to stop overthinking it.
Yeah.
It's literally, it's daily financial news. What I do is I take notes. It's usually a page of notes and I just tie it all together.
Yeah.
And then my millionaires, you're absolutely right. We get on the phone. Nothing's been prepped. I'm like, here's a couple of hot topics in the news. And I always ask, do you have a topic? And we just go for 12 to 15 minutes. It's a conversation. It doesn't have to be. And if it's something you love and you truly try to help, go find 2 or 3 other people. Go look in the Facebook groups. Go to others. There's got to be other yous out there.
Yeah.
So be the hub and just bring on other amazing people.
That's powerful advice. And I also want to just address the objection where, someone might be saying, Sean, are you saying we shouldn't edit? Well, that's not what I'm prescribing at all. I think you need to find out your rhythm and your style. And while one rental at a time is not everybody's cup of tea,
Of course.
you're also not the only, game in town, only show in town. But I think it proves how much diversity and opportunity there is. There's a lot of different real estate voices, a lot of different at different levels. But when people hear the numbers and the growth, and I like to encourage people too, you're going to get that silver play button, but you're not even halfway at this exact moment and already crushing multiple 6 figures. And a lot of times we'll talk about that at Think Media, where the unknown creators, the non-famous creators, which become micro celebrities in your community, like because people who know you, they hang out. They spend 365 days a year with you.
Yes.
There's people who spend more time with you than most of their family members in a way.
Yeah.
More consistent.
For sure.
But it's just so powerful to start and to then find a workflow that works for you. That's what I want people to be thoughtful. So as we land the plane, what are some of just your final, as an operator yourself? A lot of our community, one, can learn from you because you've been there, you've done that, you've had a lot of lessons. A lot of others, this conversation is actually stepping outside of what we normally would talk about. And some people are like, dude, I'm just trying to start a YouTube channel. I'm just trying to get a side income going. Yeah. I'm trying to, get out of my day job. Sure. I'm trying to go part-time. I'm trying to quit. I'm trying to figure this thing out. What are maybe some of the habits or the traits that you think are essential, disciplines, routines for someone to, eventually be able to quit their day job and ultimately lean into their dream job, which for 99% of our listeners is to create what you have done. And that is a YouTube channel, a media company, a solo ran with a few people helping YouTube channel that pays the bills and that gives freedom and allows to give you a platform and a voice. What are some of the habits, disciplines, things people should study, lifestyle, the way people should be, if they're wanting to get into this?
I think most people overcomplicate it. Right? If you're coming to this, you're coming to Think Media, you have something you're passionate about. It could have been a lifetime hobby. I mean, it could be anything. It could be Star Wars. It could be whatever that is.
Yeah.
My model, find your thing around that. Make that your show. For me, that's the daily financial news. And then go find 4 or 5 other amazing folks who are willing to give you 1 hour a week, but don't want to have their own channel, but they like giving, they like discussing. It builds itself, right? You have to be consistent. I would tell if you're going to start, you can't do less than 100 videos, right? I think too many people
before judging it.
Yeah, before you're not going to find out your rhythm, your talk, and nobody watches the first 100 anyway. So it's like the first pancake. It doesn't really look like anything, right? So just go for